I find myself oftentimes translating for people. I'll translate back home what is meant by certain language up here. I find it ironic that you work for the State Department and you're in the business of understanding foreign language, and you have misinterpreted the language, the graciousness, and the charm of a Southern chairman. Because to come in here and to sort of claim that you're gratified, that we are pleased with your cooperation, let me translate for you. He's not pleased with your cooperation. He doesn't think that this is going well, and he thinks that you're part of the problem. Now, you claimed in your original testimony, in this role, I serve as the department's chief liaison to the House, responsible for ensuring that the multitude of foreign policy issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So your testimony is that you're responsible. Is that right?
My testimony is that I am the chief liaison, that the State Department has a significant number of people working on a significant number of issues. In my job, I convey those issues as requested by Congress and back and forth in the dialogue with the Foreign Affairs Committee.
Mr. Ruben, back in November 18th, a season ago, this committee requested the documents, the emails, the communiques, and so forth of 11 of the principals on the 7th floor. You're familiar with that. Now, yes. I brought my computer here today, and I know it's not the same thing. I don't want to oversimplify it for the sake of being gratuitous, but when I go to my email, which has thousands in it, and I type in something like United Airlines, for example, and I sort it, dozens and dozens of things come up within the twinkling of an eye. When can we expect you to use a similar enterprise? Is there a date certain that we can rely on? Because the admonition that you have never said no is ridiculous. To never say no, you don't have to say no. As a dad, when my kids would come to me and say, I would say, they'd ask to do something and I didn't want to do it, I'd say, let me think about it. You're doing the exact same thing. You're saying, we're working on it. Do you remember that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark at the very end? When Indiana Jones goes in and he's talking to the government guy, and he says, where's the Ark? And the government guy says, we have top people working on it. And Indiana Jones says, what people? And the government guy says, top people. You're the government guy. You're standing up for top people. You've got to bring your game. You've got to be the expediter. You've got to be the one that sheds your past opinions about congressional investigations and takes on the job of being an advocate so that we can all get to the bottom of this. The other side doesn't get to argue in the alternative, that it's not moving fast enough and they're being passive-aggressive by not participating. It just doesn't work, and it's very flat-footed. But what we need from you is a disposition of expedition. That is, recognizing that a chairman is not happy. Don't misinterpret the charm and graciousness of the South. I'm from Chicago. We have none of that. And we're trying to be very, very direct. And that is to be part of the remedy, Mr. Ruben, to be part of the solution, and to get things done.
As I've said, sir, and as I can assure you, as I said in my testimony, we will begin the production of additional documents to the committee within days. We are also needing the guidance from the committee as to its top priorities and sequencing.
That's arguing it.
The committee had told us its top priorities.
You're making an argument there, Mr. Ruben, that says that these things have to be consecutive requests. They're not consecutive requests. They're concurrent requests. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. Mrs. Roby made the point, you've got 70,000 employees. So to make the admonition of the committee that you've got to line up single file and you're going to be admitted in, and we're going to get you this piece of evidence if you ask the right way, and you're going to give you that piece of evidence, come on. That's an old trick. We're not old people.
We have a record of cooperation with this committee. Even in recent days, we proactively offered a briefing to this committee that was not requested.
Come on. We need the documents of the 11 people on the 7th floor.
It was much more than a briefing.
We need it promptly, and we
are committed to providing the documents.
My time has expired. I yield back.